All right, thanks, guys. We are going to start with a game not currently on our big screen in the back. And I'm talking about Evansville taking on Missouri State. 5 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. The Bears of Missouri State, they are actually the 6-point favorite in this one, total at 134. We saw a half a point move toward Missouri State and movement downward on the total. The Bears open 5.5 up to -6. Total open 136 down to 134. 56% are leaning Evansville, 67% shaded toward the over. And right now, the Purple Aces of Evansville are plus 240 on the money line. Now, if you think Evansville has no shot here to cover, I think you're probably sorely mistaken. They're 6-1 straight up in their last 7, 3-1 straight up as the official road team. They're averaging 78 points per contest, and they're shooting 36% collectively from downtown. DeAndre Williams is averaging 16 points a game, 8 rebounds. He's also shooting 82% from the stripe. KJ Riley, 13 points a game, 4 rebounds, 82% from the stripe as well. And Arthur Labinowitz, 12 points a game, 4 rebounds. He is shooting 40% from downtown. Now, Missouri State coming off 2 fresh losses to Oral Roberts and VCU. They've also failed to cover the point spread in 4 out of their last 6. This Missouri State Bear ball club here is averaging just 67 points per game. Now, ironically enough, Missouri State is 60% to the over in their last 5. Meanwhile, 7 out of Evansville's last 9 did get over the total as well. Looks like I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one. Give me the Purple Aces of Evansville plus 6 in the over 134 in that game. Now, before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for our college basketball slate on New Year's Eve 2019. And hopefully you guys had a great year, and here's to an even better year in 2020 as we're going into a new decade. We're talking about the 20s. We're going into the 20s. Now, growing up, when you talked about the 20s, I was literally referencing the 1920s. But man, we're getting old, guys. We're getting into the 20s. And yeah, it's going to be a good night. I'm going to the casino with the wife and all her friends who are all in their 20s. I mean, I'm a taken man, but the scenery certainly will not suck tonight. But anyway, guys, before we go ahead and dive into some more free lines and personal leans right here on YouTube, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/rockpage, where we do daily premium picks on that website, beginning at just $1.99 per month. We have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to on that website. Link for that site is in the description section below. If you like sports betting, definitely something you're going to want to check out, and it's certainly a good value too. You're not going to go broke obtaining information on that site. But anyway, link for that site is in the description section below. Once again, that is patreon.com/rockpage. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some more free lines and personal leans right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time, and on deck, our next game is on the big screen in the back. I'm talking about Georgetown taking on Providence. 5:30 Eastern tip-off in this Big East showdown. Now, we had ourselves a good old-fashioned flip of the lines in this one. Georgetown is -1, total at 151, but we saw a 2-point move toward Georgetown. They open as the 1-point dog. We also saw a movement downward on the total as well. The Hoyas open +1, now -1. Total open 152 down to 151. 59% are leaning Georgetown, 53% shaded toward the under. And right now the Friars of Providence, they are +105 at home. Now, Providence, they've been pretty good at home this year, 6-1 straight up on their home court. They rank 46th in offensive rebounding. Meanwhile, they're giving up just 65 points per contest. Alpha Diallo, 14 points a game, 9 rebounds, and 2 steals. David Duke, 12 points a game, 4 rebounds. He's also shooting 49% from downtown. And Nate Watson, 10 points a game, 4 rebounds for him. This Providence team is allowing just 59 points per contest on their home court. Now, Georgetown, on the other side, they're allowing 72 points per contest. They've also lost 8 out of their last 10 head-to-head matchups with the Friars if you're into historical trends. Now, total-wise, Georgetown 8-5 to the over in their last 13. I'm going to lean toward the home dog in this one. Give me Providence +1 and the over 151 in that contest. Next game, Drake taking on Bradley, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that matchup. Bradley is minus 2.5, total at 132. We saw a 1-point fade of Bradley and movement upward on the total. The Bradley opened 3.5 down to minus 2.5, total open 130 up to 132. 51% are leaning Drake, 63% shaded toward the over. And right now, Drake is plus $1.25 on the money line. Now, if you like Drake in this matchup here, just keep in mind, they failed to cover the point spread in 3 out of their last 4. They gave up 73 points or more in all of their last 4 games. Meanwhile, Bradley on the other side, a little bit of a different story. They've actually successfully covered the point spread in 4 out of their last 6 themselves. They're shooting 36.3% from downtown. Elijah Childs, 15 points a game, 9 rebounds for him. Darryl Brown, 13 points a game, 5 assists. And Nate Kennel, 12 points a game. He's shooting 48 points from beyond the arc. Now, total-wise, Bradley 4-3 to the under at home. Drake 9-2 to the under in their last 11. I'm going to lean Bradley minus 2.5 at home and the under 132 in that game. Next matchup, Rider taking on Wisconsin, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that contest. The Badgers are the 13.5-point favorite, total at 137. We saw a 0.5 point move toward Wisconsin and movement downward on the total. The Badgers open 13 up to minus 13.5. Total open 138 down to 137. 61% are leaning Wisconsin, 62% shaded toward the under. Right now, Rider is plus 900 on the money line. And if you like Rider in this matchup, just keep in mind they failed to cover the point spread in their last 2 straight. They're allowing 73 points per contest on average. They failed to cover against the likes of Marist, UMass, and Coppin State. Now, Wisconsin on the other side, 3-1 against the spread in their last 4. They're currently undefeated at home this year in 6 matchups. And they're allowing just 62 points per contest. Nate Roivers, 15 points a game, 5 rebounds for him. Kobe King, 11 points a contest, 4 rebounds for Kobe. And last but certainly not least, Demetric Trice, 11 points a game, 5 rebounds. He's shooting 83% from the stripe. Now, 5 out of Wisconsin's last 6 at home did get over the total. Meanwhile, Rider, 5-2 to the over in their last 7 themselves. I'm going to lean Badgers minus 13.5 and the over 137 in that game. Next matchup, this should be a good one. I'm talking about Butler taking on St. John's, 7:30 Eastern tip-off in that game. Butler's minus 4.5 away from home, total at 135. We saw a 1-point fade of Butler and movement downward on the total. The Bulldogs opened 5.5 down to minus 4.5, total opened 136 down to 135. 52% are leaning Butler, 53% shaded toward the over. Right now, St. John's is plus 160 on the money line. The Red Storm, they are 11-2 straight up on the year, 9-4 against the spread in those 13 games. They have outright victories against the likes of Arizona and West Virginia. They're also right in the middle of a 7-game win streak, red hot, playing great basketball right now. They went 6-1 against the spread in that 7-game winning streak. They're averaging 80 points per contest. They rank in the top 5 in offensive rebounding. LJ Figueroa, 16 points a game, 5 rebounds and 2 steals. Mustafa Heron, 15 points a game. He's also shooting 41% from downtown. Now, keep an eye on Mustafa Heron as he is listed as questionable. He's a little banged up, but if he should play, he's certainly a difference maker. Now, Rasheem Dunn, he's averaging 11 points per contest, 3 assists for the Red Storm. St. John's, they rank in the top 30 in defensive field goal percentage, getting the job done on both sides of the court. Now, Butler on the other side, Derek Smits is listed as questionable for tonight's action. They're averaging just 69 points per contest, and they're also averaging just 64 points per contest on the road. They failed to cover this year over the likes of Southern University and Morehead State. They're also 6-3 to the under in their last 9. St. John's 70% to the under in their last 10. I'm going to purchase the 0.5 point, buy it up, and lean St. John's plus 5 and the under 135 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into our quick pick recap. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/rockpage, where we do daily premium sports picks on that site, beginning at just $1.99 per month. I like St. John's plus 5 under 135. Wisconsin minus 13.5 over 137. Bradley minus 2.5 under 132. Providence plus 1 over 151. And last but certainly not least, I like Evansville +6 and the over 134 in that matchup there.